Good morning. It's March 2nd, 2017. You're listening to KZSC News, local news from the Monterey Bay. On today's program, we will be covering the effects of Proposition 57, Highway 1 closures, and police and community responses to recent DHS and ICE raids in downtown Santa Cruz.
While many students are busy filling out paperwork to get their FAFSAs in by today, DREAM Act students have been more cautious. In the wake of federal ICE raids that swept through Southern California in early February, there has been a 40% decline in the number of undocumented Californian students applying for financial aid. The California DREAM Act grants undocumented immigrants who are minors at the time of their immigration in-state tuition to California's public colleges and higher educational facilities. This year, however, students are cautious to utilize the act, citing fear of their personal information being shared with federal agencies such as Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE as it is colloquially known. The DREAM Act is a California state law and will require federal agencies such as ICE to bring a subpoena in order to receive DREAM Act information. California education officials and state legislatures are encouraging students to apply for aid, citing the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, which they say will prevent immigrants and their families from having their information collected by federal agencies.
Due to recent storms and landslides, the Pfeiffer Canyon Bridge on Highway 1 has been extensively damaged and will need to be replaced. Caltrans has not yet offered a timeline on the plans to rebuild the bridge, though it is estimated to take upwards of a year. The closure of this bridge, which connects Big Sur to the rest of the coast, has already begun to hurt local businesses that depend on tourists driving up the coast. Currently, Caltrans has no estimate on when more public access will be available on Highway 1.
Cases involving juvenile defendants in Santa Cruz County are on their way to be reviewed in juvenile court from adult criminal courts following the overwhelming passage of Prop 57 by California voters last November. This overturned Proposition 21 from 2000, which gave county district attorneys the sole authority over whether to try juveniles in adult court for qualifying offenses. Santa Cruz Probation Chief Fernando Geraldo told KZSC the vast majority of these cases involved juveniles of color. Prop 21 was a knee-jerk reaction, and it took 16 years for people to realize that wasn't such a good idea. In Santa Cruz County, the tactic was used 12 times more often against Latino teens than against white teens. One teen charged at 15 is now 20 and living in Santa Cruz County Jail. His case is one set to be reviewed by juvenile court judge Heather Morse in a fitness hearing. This was done only once in Santa Cruz under Prop 21, which resulted in that case staying in juvenile courts. Under Prop 57, fitness hearings are now required, and Jeff Roselle, the county district attorney, is applying Prop 57 to cases filed before its passage. KZSC reached out to his office for comment, but has not heard back.
John Steinbeck's 115th birthday was on Monday, February 27th. The National Steinbeck Center, located in his hometown of Salinas, celebrated early on Saturday, February 25th. Admission and tours were all free. Students from John E. Steinbeck Elementary sang "This Land is Your Land" and "Happy Birthday." The day also included cake, electron squids, and many other child-friendly activities. Susan Schillinglaw, director of the center, said that Steinbeck didn't like celebrating his own birthday, but enjoyed celebrating other people's.
Construction companies are looking to take up the job of building a border wall along Mexico as Trump mobilizes to fulfill his campaign promise. Among the companies bidding for the job is the Watsonville-based Granite Construction Incorporation. The CEO, James Roberts, recently said they'd definitely play a role in the construction if offered the job. Though the company offered that the project bid is not an indication of any political affiliation, it is a controversial decision due to Watsonville's substantive Latin American immigrant population.
In response to community outrage over Homeland Security involvement with the Santa Cruz Police Department raid in the Beach Flats community on Monday, February 13th, Police Chief Kevin Vogel held a press conference to deny allegations of SCPD cooperation with HSI for immigration-based detainment. SCPD claimed they only agreed to be involved in the raids on the basis that they were solely to arrest members of Mara Salvatrucha 13, a federally indicted gang. During the press conference, Kevin Vogel claimed SCPD was unaware of HSI detainments until, prompted by community outrage at the city council meeting the Tuesday following the raids, Dan Flippo was sent to investigate. Here's Kevin Vogel speaking at the press conference.
The Department of Homeland Security, unbeknownst to us at the Santa Cruz Police Department, had acted outside of the scope of this operation and had detained and removed a number of individuals from various locations based upon their immigration status.
In response to these SCPD claims of, quote, betrayal, unquote, by HSI and ICE spokesman James Schwab released a statement. He said, quote, several days prior to the operation, our Special Agent in Charge office notified the Santa Cruz Chief of Police that any non-targeted foreign nationals encountered during the enforcement actions at the search and arrest locations would be held briefly until determinations could be made about their identities and case histories. The chief acknowledged this possibility, and it was agreed that no foreign nationals would enter the Santa Cruz Police Department's facility or their police vehicles, unquote.
There is no definitive answer at this point as to the true extent of SCPD's knowledge surrounding the raid.
My name is Nereida Robles Vasquez, and I'm live in Santa Cruz.
Ms. Vasquez was among 40 community members who arrived to attend the Santa Cruz Police Department's press conference regarding the February 13th Department of Homeland Security ICE raids. While the press conference was held in the community room at the police department, only credentialed press and local politicians were allowed inside.
I'm disappointed that I couldn't go inside and listen, because that's what I was coming to listen. I'm an immigrant myself. I'm from Mexico. People are very scared of the police right now. People are scared of going to school. People are scared of going to their churches. People are scared of going and buying their food. People are just scared.
Here is Allison Thompson, a member of the Santa Cruz City School Board. She sat in the police department courtyard and listened to a live stream of the press conference on her phone.
What they have said over and over again is that they were blindsided by this, and that they are thinking long and hard about what any kind of future cooperation with this federal agency is going to look like, given the lack of trust and transparency, and that they have not been able to ascertain who made the decision to include an immigration component to the raid, and Homeland Security is not participating in making that information available.
Another community member named Linnea called for community solidarity.
I think we all need to stand up, especially those of us who are not threatened by these forces coming into the community, and stand in solidarity with one another.
Public commentators at the City Council meeting this past Tuesday demanded that the Santa Cruz Police Department not collaborate with Homeland Security investigations, a subset of ICE, under any circumstances. Speakers emphasized that the federal organization could not be trusted after tricking the Santa Cruz Police Department into compliance with an immigration raid. A speaker stated that trust had been broken with community members and that trust could not begin to be rebuilt without a very strong ordinance, not just a resolution that would help protect vulnerable members of the Santa Cruz community. Salvadoran veterans of war likened the situation to the forced disappearances of loved ones that had been common especially in Central America during war years and times of political repression. Ultimately, a resolution was unanimously passed by the City Council, which declared Santa Cruz a sanctuary city, and stated that city resources would not be used to assist in federal immigration enforcement unless such assistance is required by federal or state statute, regulation, or court decision. While this is a symbolic victory for sanctuary advocates, the resolution does not hold power in stopping federal immigration enforcement officials from coming to the community and deporting undocumented immigrants. Rather, it directs local police not to assist. Sanctuary advocates are continuing, however, to organize other ways of supporting undocumented community members, as well as pushing for stronger language in the sanctuary ordinance.
I'm Ty Goering.
I'm Daniel Wootan.
This is John Malkin.
This is Kathy Damian.
I'm Maelin Rose.
I'm Morgan Corona.
Kavya Aswadhati.
And I'm Sean Corfield for KZSC News, only on 88.1 FM, KZSC Santa Cruz.